Okay, the other day, got this truck running. Sort of. So I rebuilt the carburetor, Edelbrock 650, and we had to change clutch master cylinder, clutch slave cylinder, get a battery, and do some different wiring. Oh, new starter, that was the other thing. So the big thing that's keeping this from being on the road, well, alright, it needs a grill and rear bumper and stuff like that. But the big thing that's keeping it from being on the road is the gas. Currently, this is the gas tank because I'm the king of doing stupid stuff like that. But this runs, so that means the manual fuel pump is working. So what we have to do is drop the rear fuel tank, flush out the lines, the fuel lines, make sure there's no contaminants in there, and I mean, honestly, that should be it. Gas her and go. Let her rip, tater chip. So now I'm gonna pull this over, get it on the cement, and get that gas tank down, and we'll take a look and see what we got. Yeah. And then these bad boys. Anyway, one step at a time. I mean, let's be honest, that's pretty good for not choking it. So dirty. Something's definitely missing. Not good. Smell heavy fuel. I'm gonna crank it back up and double check. Nope, pretty rough. Either fuel or spark. Okay, so what I think is going on with that weird running, I mean, the only thing that I think it could even possibly be is we've sucked up some contaminants and it's clogged up the jets. So that means I'm going to have to pull that carb apart and rebuild it again. But what I think I'm going to do first, since it does sort of run, I would rather get this fuel tank cleaned, get the lines cleaned out. Right now there's no fuel pump on, or a fuel filter on here, which was, you know, stupid. Here it is. So I say we get this whole fuel system as clean as we can, hook it up, try and get fuel flowing. Then pull the carburetor apart and get it cleaned and have it running mint. So we're going to continue on with the normal plan and drop that fuel tank first. By the way, so this is a 1988 Chevy 2500 4x4. Original engine blew up in it. We got this engine from a buddy of mine, John, years ago. Swapped it in. I want to say he said it was a crate engine, 350 horse. But anyway, it's 350 cubic inch engine. And we took all the stuff off the old engine, bolted it to this one. New intake, new carburetor. And it's still got the factory exhaust manifolds and all that, but hooked it back up and let it rip. So the engine's got plenty of power, and this truck will, as Pop would say, pull hell off its hinges if you could hook to it. So good looking truck. and we are this close to getting it running. So let's get to it. Here we go. All right, let's widen this up. Okay, what we've got to do to get the fuel tank out. Fuel tank, luckily it's pretty empty. That's cool. So we got to disconnect fuel line. The vent is already disconnected. That's probably not good. I've actually already removed, let's see if I can sneak my hand up here. I've already removed this hose clamp here. So I'm gonna pull this off from here. I've got 2 fuel lines here to remove. 2 of them, no, sorry, 1 of them is already removed. That is most likely the feed, because I had a soft line running all the way up to the car before just to get it going. So we're gonna undo those. Then you have 2 straps that hold the fuel tank in. One that goes into that part of the frame, and bolts over here. So these 2 straps just hold it up. Then the thing will fall right out. I'm going to take a motorcycle jack, slide up under here, hold this tank up so we can just ease it down. It's much easier that way. All right, let's get started. Oh, okay, that was disappointingly anticlimactic. Apparently I was already doing this at one point. All right, all that's cleared away. Cool. So let's just get these lines off there. My newest toolbox. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Our ball bearings, baby. Okay, after a little careful persuasion and a moderate amount of cussing, those lines are free. Sweet. Also, I don't know if you noticed this. What's that, 3-inch? Like a 3-inch body lift all the way around, by the way. Okay, time to undo the straps and get the motorcycle jack under here. For some unknown reason, it's a 15 millimeter. How long this bolt is? Okay. These are really long bolts. Jeez. Anyway, we're gonna undo the straps, and it's already resting on the jack. We'll lower it down. Now, I'm actually just gonna slide this out from under it. And then slide the tank out. Forgot these cables. Can't get this damn thing to come out of here, and I really don't want to break it. So I'm going to do it here. But there's a ground cable up here bolted in. I'm actually just going to cut the line and solder it together later, because that may need to be redone anyway. But here we go. Okay, it's free. So this inner ring, you hammer this inner ring over and it'll release it. Well, there's a fuel level sending unit, and we just lost the filter. Ooh, boy. What do we got in here? Holy crap. Okay, so after analyzing the condition of this tank, yes, we could clean it out. It would be an enormous pain in the butt. The sending unit, I think that's pretty salvageable, but we may or may not get a new one. This is Pop's truck, so decision's up to him. We've already got quotes on the parts, and honestly, this was 109, this was 85 for the unit. So I mean, we're 208 or whatever after tax for everything. So might just replace it because that was a pretty grody in there. And Pop wants this thing running and running reliably and do it right. And well, God bless him. Somebody's got to do things the right way. So for now, we're on hold till we get the parts, but we'll pick the project up as soon as we can. So, we got the new parts in. We are going to flush out these lines here and here. We're going to hook up a fluid pump fuel through it. He's tying the lines down over there so it will fall down into a container. That's the plan right now. All right, the fluid pump in our existing fuel tank.
Come up.
Definitely moving up here.
Okay. Don't have it here yet.
Really?
How about that? Oh, we got it.
All right.
But it ain't coming out here.
Exactly. I can hear that drips way not where it should be.
Oh, see what they got there.
What the hell? Well.
Alright, is it?
Oh, dude, that filter's so rusted through, it's just blowing out. So.
The filter's rusted out?
Yeah. I mean, it's coming out of the side of the filter.
Oh, wow.
Super quality, yeah, fuel filter right there.
I don't see anything wrong with it. Brand new.
Yeah, look, looks fine.
We just got it from Napa.
So we're under here looking at the fuel lines. This is actually a brake line. Then this one that clamps on, that just goes to a breather like a charcoal box or something up front. This larger one is the feed for the engine, and that's the return. But they're pretty rusty, so we're trying to figure out what the best course of action is. Here's the end that just came off the... Doubt it's going to be bright enough. Yeah,
2500.
that's no good right there. Okay, update on this truck here. So, we have the fuel tank sitting over there, and we have the new sending unit sitting over there. We're gonna get those put in. We had this weird, it was so weird. It just felt like it was running on like 4 cylinders. Then it felt like it was running on 2 cylinders. I'm like, what is going? Distributor must be going or something. We changed the plugs and the wires, and the plugs were like 3 of them broke in half pulling them out. They were just rusty and old. Changed the wires, bam, she fired right back up. It wasn't the distributor at all. Just needed plugs and wires. Like, I would have lost that bet for sure, but yep. So she's firing right back up, idling great. So now we got the tank and the sending unit. We're going to modify the existing fuel lines. We have some soft lines, but we're going to remove these hard lines that are all rusty and shot. They're done, and we're going to modify it with some soft lines we have to run the lines. This truck was originally a fuel injected, so there's like the 3 lines, the feed, return, and vent or whatever. So now there's going to be a feed and a vent, and that's it because it's carbureted. But let's check out our new toys. It's hard to do one-handed. Ooh, shiny. And most importantly, clean. Also, the new sending unit. Alright, got everything swapped over from the old sending unit and either reutilized or like fresh hose put on to the new sending unit. This one can actually hold a pump for the fuel injected version of this, but this one, you know, was modified to begin with. Anyway, it is good. Okay, so we got the lines out. These are the fuel lines. This is the feed. The fuel filter goes in between here. This is the return. There's no longer a return because we're now carbureted. This is another line that was under there. Ran to this charcoal canister, some emissions Criz app, which now we no longer have. So we are going to modify this. A new fuel filter, and we have a new fuel line. So we're going to modify some of these connections in order to still utilize this filter, but it's going to be run with all new line. So I don't know how that's going to work yet, but I'm about to figure it out right now. All right, follow me now. Got these lines cut up, just have to get them cleaned out. But we got this connection that's going to go on to the feed for the tank. It is going to go to a soft line, and I'll cut it to length for where the fuel filter mounts. The other part of the line to here, this fitting on there, this fitting here. This is just a part off that electronic fuel pump right there, but it was a convenient way to meet to this hose, and then this end of the hose, we'll go to the carburetor, and we're good. Okay, tank is going in. I'll get it up with a motorcycle jack. Flip these brackets around, bolt them on, then start hooking up the lines and the plugs. But we are almost there. Okay, so the newest thing we had to do, this has a 3-inch body lift on it. So in order to get this pipe that goes from your filler or whatever to connect to the tank, had to extend this out with some aluminum pipe. Should work. Then just plug it in the fuel level thing, and good. Well, there's a ground there too. I gotta find where that goes. But yeah, that's it. All right, so there's gas in it. We've got lines hooked up and stuff. That cable right there is for the fuel level. The return, I just ran a hose down basically to drain or vent or whatever it needs to do. So now we're going to try to crank. It's going to be a while of cranking to get it to run enough fuel up to the engine, but there's some residual sitting up front still, so it should fire up, and then hopefully the fuel will catch up before it dies. So let's see what happens. All right. Now, I imagine it's gonna die
because it's got to pull fuel.
I mean, maybe it'll catch up in time. I don't know.
Depends on how much that pump's pulling. It's got new motor mounts or anything?
Yeah. Hasn't died yet. Well, there's still a lot of fuel sitting in that carb, though. So I don't see any leaks. She hasn't shut off yet. No doubt. Dude, we're freaking in there.
Sounds good too.
It does sound good.
Real nice. It's all those new plugs.
You're right. So mad that worked. You can actually drive it with the hood closed now. How about that?
What? You can drive it? Alright, go ahead and back it straight up right now.
Straight up, full speed, don't
Yeah,
look.
Full speed, don't look behind.
Heard.
Don't move.
No time for that, Bob.
Yeah, we gotta go now. The getting's good. Gotta remember how to drive stick.
I know you're used to the Nissan, like, I pumped a whole bunch, but. Oh, you can't see anything.
Gas tank's in. We can drive with the hood closed, although it's only latched, so it shouldn't go too fast. But yeah, I mean, this is good. He suggested come down here to see you, but that's good because we'll make sure there's no leaks when we get back.
Yeah.
Car wash. Do. My bad.
There you go. Woo!
Hey. Alrighty. Success. Of course, there's a lot more to go, but she is running and under her own power and not with a little fuel tank under the hood.